2025 has been a huge year. We unpack some of the defining political, cultural, and spiritual moments that we have seen over the last 12 months. We put the cross-section team to the test, seeing who knows the year best, and we predict all that we think is going to happen next year. It's the final episode of Cross-Section of the year. Check it out now. Hello, and welcome back to Cross-Section. You join us on a very exciting day because it is the final episode of the year. That is less exciting. That's a bit sad. But we're all really excited because it's Christmas time. In case you couldn't tell, or if you're only listening, we are all dressed for Christmas. We've got fun accessories going on. So I would really recommend right now you start watching the episode rather than just listening. But for now, let me introduce the full team that are on today. We have got Danny over here with some nice Christmas tree headwear.
I should say that I raided my children's Christmas box and bought several headdresses. Yeah. The snowmen, again, if you're listening, you really are missing out. So go to YouTube. The problem is that happens with the snowmen. If you wave them to even a little bit, one snowman falls off. So it's a bit sad. It's a sad snowman.
Oh, gutting. Well, that's such a sad note to start the episode on. We've also got Alicia over here with a lovely Santa hat.
Yes, trying to keep it chic with the silk scarf. But yeah, I tried.
And Peter over in Northern Ireland with, well, he's actually a reindeer today, I think.
Yes, and I've got Santa hanging out behind me again on video, a Christmas tree, like we're fully in. I might even have a different outfit for a different round.
Wow. And we've also got Paul behind the camera that we would just want to introduce because he's been an absolute legend this year and you wouldn't have seen a single episode of Cross Section without him. Yeah, what a shout out. Right, well, from all that, we are going to get into a bit of a 2025 roundup as we think about all that has happened this year. It's been quite a year. A lot has happened and a lot that we've covered over Cross Section, but let's just get straight into it. Team, what have been the big political trends that you think 2025 will be remembered for? Danny, I will come straight to you.
Great. Well, I think this year has seen the consistent decline in favourability of the government. I don't think that's a huge surprise. I think it started at the end of last year. They were elected July 24, but this year you've just seen a consistent dripping away of support and the feeling that they're going to be a one-term government. I'm not making any big predictions at this point, but there is an expectation that they won't win the next election. And that is sparking all sorts of problems internally in the party, discussions of whether they'll change their leader. I was trying to work out where I thought this really, really kicked in. And I felt actually it was the proposals and then the climb down over welfare benefit changes that was a marked shift. I think it was around March this year. And this was where the government had made some proposals and then had to backtrack on those proposals to get their MPs to support it. And plenty didn't support it and some of them lost the whip. And I think from then, the authority of the government has really declined. And I think we're seeing that every week. There are announcements and pressure on the government. And that's become for me, the dominant political theme this year.
I mean, in many ways, I totally agree with that in terms of the party, the government in freefall. I'd say to add to that, probably Danny Kruger's speech in Parliament, which was an adjournment debate, an intentional speech around kind of the role of Christianity in public life, in politics, in the institution of Westminster. And I think that kind of more of a rallying cry of, whilst there's no political leadership, and he has since defected from the Conservatives to Reform, there is a lack of leadership in what are many political, cultural, spiritual crises. And he was kind of making the case or wanting to speak into that void and vacuum about the role of Christianity into that. Whilst it was an empty chamber, it's been viewed millions of times internationally. And I think that is probably a recurring theme that we're going to talk about probably in the culture and the spiritual piece. So I would say the significance of Christianity in politics and that debate in particular has definitely been a milestone for 2025.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. Government's in decline across all four nations. I mean, we barely have a government in Northern Ireland. Scotland's in real trouble. Wales, real trouble. The governing parties are under incredible kind of pressure. We are seeing the rise then of populism, the rise of the right, or is it just a shift in alignment? And as Alicia was saying, the role of faith within that. So politically, many more open doors to talk about faith. There are challenges in that. It's very difficult to talk about these things seriously in a reindeer, but it has to be said. But these shifts are like really fascinating, and I suspect we'll see more. So I agree with my learned colleagues on this one.
I think just to unpack it a bit more, I think when I went to the Reform Party conference in September, which was interesting, sometimes enjoyable, sometimes less so. But what people kept on talking about was the end of the uni party. And by this was their derogatory way of referring to the Conservatives and the Labour Party as they're all the same. They're these are the people who've been running the government forever, and it's time that they were done with. And I think in different ways you are seeing that the way support shifts from Labour onto the Greens or the Liberal Democrats and from Conservatives to Reform. People are looking for other options because they feel that the people who have been in government for however long, both Labour and Conservatives, haven't delivered. I think there are concerning aspects of that because I'm not sure what they expect other people to do. But there is this distrust and this frustration with the political class. And I think that it's becoming more active. I think people have been annoyed about politics forever. That's definitely not new. But people are looking to do something about it. And that is destabilizing our political system. And I think people aren't really sure where this is going to land.
Yeah, and I think also what we've seen is, I mean, we've talked about it, the kind of TikTokification. That's not a word. I've
that
just
is a word.
invented a word of kind of politics. And I was reading a report, I think it was by Demos, about young people and their attitudes to politics. And it was kind of saying the impact of people like Nigel Farage, Zach Polansky, and their kind of online presence and the way they use social media, do things like that. That is the content that younger people, whether it's kind of late teenagers or people in their early 20s, are seeing. And there was some kind of quote, and it was like, Keir Starmer is invisible. They kind of respect what these people are doing. So I think that's also been quite an interesting trend, especially as we've seen the rise of Green and the rise of Reform as well. And I think that will continue into next year.
I mean, the Prime Minister might not be visible for much longer because he launched his own TikTok account in response to kind of the drive to increase visibility and to communicate the government's agenda in that social media reel. But I think, I mean, I've got my own views on TikTok. Sometimes you just got to stay in your lane, and sometimes it's going to expose a weakness rather than kind of put a spotlight on you being charismatic and accessible. It could look cringe that the Prime Minister's on TikTok.
I think it could be a real challenge because I think where Nigel Farage and Zach Polansky do well is the always-on mentality. They're always engaging. They're always responding.
Yeah.
When the budget happened, Nigel Farage was straight on with his own response, direct to the public, wasn't bothering with the parliamentary chamber, straight on social media responding. And I think for a Prime Minister with multiple layers of scrutiny and sign-off for every post, I can't imagine it's going to have that instant impact that particularly those two leaders are having on social media.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see as well what will happen with Keir Starmer and whether he will be Prime Minister this time next year.
Predictions.
So just to explain, not in a cross-section episode, but to our team at the Evangelical Alliance, Alicia did make a somewhat bold prediction that has 22 days to come to fruition, that the current occupant of 10 Downing Street would not be the occupant of 10 Downing Street by the end of 2025.
Given that we do believe in trial by jury and the government's kind of squashing that, I would like a right of defence in that when I said that in December 2024, even the thought that Keir Starmer would be in trouble a year on, everyone was laughing at me, being like, no way, he's just ridden, he's a slight slump and all of that. Now, I think most people, I just came out early. I just came out strong.
No, it's true.
And that's fine.
Things do look totally different to they did last year as well.
They
so you
certainly
did see that coming. But that kind of feeds into the next bit. What are the kind of big cultural things that we've seen this year? Peter, I'll come straight to you. Talk us through.
The vibe shift. We started the year with it. It's happening. Come on, bring back the vibe shift. I think we have seen a massive cultural shift this year. The technical term would be the Overton window has shifted. This is what's an acceptable set of beliefs. There's a kind of window on that. I think I heard somebody else say this recently, but I do think it has shifted in two different directions simultaneously. So there's been a sort of general move, you might say, more to the right or more conservative as to what's acceptable. But I also think there's been a kind of a little bulge or pushing out the other way. So it's kind of weird. It's probably flattened and extended across by that. So this week there was a decision in the Sandra Peggy case. This is an NHS nurse up in Fife, and she went into a female changing room, and there was a doctor who was born male there who then entered that changing room, and the doctor was now presenting as a female, and she said, I don't feel comfortable changing in this environment. And she, for 2 years, was harassed. She was said to be a safeguarding risk. She was hounded out, and she has won her case. That's a kind of reset. It was mad that she even had to feel that way, in my view. We've seen Graham Linehan, Father Ted, creator, originally, he's got arrested at Heathrow Airport, and then people have been apologising and saying, no, that shouldn't have happened. We've seen the big Supreme Court case on this, but then the government dragging its feet a little bit on the guidance. So fundamentally, a reshift saying biological reality is real, and we need to accept that. But there are still those dragging their feet and kicking out against it. So this is where the vibe shift is. And linked to that, because we're running out of, I do think the kind of quiet revival, the rise of Christian nationalism, faith centering again in our cultural conversation is really interesting, or centering, but certainly coming back in, being more acceptable, being talked about, from Danny's speech to lots of other examples. And the quiet revival saying there is a return in interest in the church. There are more and more people willing to talk about faith, more and more people in the public eye saying that they are engaging, particularly with Christianity. I think it's just a massive shift on that. We could say loads more, but there's no doubt more people are coming to church, and it's more plausible to talk about faith than it's ever been in my lifetime.
I've never heard so much talk about church stats, which for me is just brilliant. I love church stats. I love statistics in general. But you also do want to get beneath the stats. What's going on? Why are people coming to church? What's that looking like? And we're going to get on to 2026 in a bit. But I think exploring some of that is really interesting. And I think there has been a shift. The acceptability of talking about the Christian faith has changed. Mm. Just want to slightly say that the Nurse Peggy case is more complicated. She kind of won. Just to put a point of accuracy.
She fundamentally won her substantive claims, Danny. But yes, there's a tiny nuance.
Okay. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. That's an episode for another episode of Cross Section, perhaps, maybe. We could do a bonus Christmas episode. No, we're not going to do that. Christian nationalism. I think it has become a much more talked about thing in the UK, and I think that is really worth reflecting on, and it bridges some of the cultural and spiritual aspects. That something that has been in the American ecosystem for some time has made waves in the UK. We probably wouldn't be talking about it as much as we are doing if it weren't for the Unite the Kingdom marches and some of the visible demonstrations there. But I think it provokes us to think hard about actually what it means as Christians to engage in public life. How do we engage, and what are we looking for as we engage? Not least because for some people who want to criticize Christian nationalism, they also want to criticize evangelicals and socially conservative views such as pro-life or being opposed to assisted suicide or conservative views on sexuality. And I think the responsibility for us as evangelicals to remain strong on what we believe, but also push back on the things that we think are counter to an authentic Christian faith and an engagement in politics. Well, it's taken up more of our time than we thought it would.
Well, certainly. I mean, just continuing the faith in public life, I think this year we've seen, not just in politics, but also in sport. We've seen, particularly within football and in the Premier League, this real visibility of particular Christian footballers. In the past, it definitely Muslim players have been prominent in kind of sharing their faith with that. You've got the Liverpool goalkeeper that's regularly posting about his Bible on and off the bus. You've got Crystal Palace win in terms of them winning the FA Cup, and Joel Ward and others behind the scenes praying, him using Jeremiah as an anchor verse to kind of mobilize the team in the lead up to that. And it's increasingly so we're seeing more kind of Christian players kind of come to the fore and say, this is my platform and this is what I want to use it for, to kind of share faith, witness faith, speak to who God is. Mark Gahey himself, kind of the Crystal Palace captain. So faith in the public square is definitely on display in that sense. I think something that is also probably going to rumble into 2026 is the thing around language. And I use the Sweeney Sydney Sweeney American Eagle gene advert, which went viral, saying that, you know, she has smart genes. It's a gene advert, but the whole language and repertoire of that was playing on somewhat of genetics. Had a massive pushback, but American Eagle didn't mind too much because their sales went up. I think what we're also seeing in the UK is that the language of who the far right is being stretched massively. So I mentioned before the podcast, Palama Faith and other celebrities in March next year are doing Together Against the Far Right campaign. And for them, the motivation is because they don't like a far right fascist party polling in the top of UK politics. And who is that? Reform. And so there's something there around language, there's something around who gets to speak, how do we speak, and all of that is definitely being challenged in this moment. So I think there's something around the cultural language vibe shift that Peter keeps talking about in terms of who gets to speak and who is validated and what's being platformed.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful, kind of the different things, the different element. I mean, it's crazy just thinking about all these things that did happen this year. Like even that Supreme Court case, that was what, in the spring? It's just crazy that was the same year as then all this other stuff. But yeah, amidst the kind of complexity of a lot of these conversations, there are also huge encouragements and people that are coming into churches and finding Jesus. And that's so cool. And something to, even if you're feeling the weight of the kind of some of the things that have been going on in the news and stuff, what an encouragement that there are people that have got involved in churches and come to Christ this year. So that's very cool. But yeah, so that is 2025. But to kind of finish our reflections, thoughts on 2025, we're going to have a quiz. So I've got some questions ready. Hopefully Danny won't be cheating. He has been peeking at the questions already. Peter's got
I'm going to score it because it's the only way I have a chance of doing well in this.
Well, I've got my beady eye on that whiteboard. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is first person to shout it out.
Yep.
Question 1. What popular social media...
TikTok.
That's Danny cheating.
It's the only one I started to inquiry straight away.
It was the only one I saw. So Zanna had her book open with her notes.
Outrageous.
I confessed straight away that I could see her answers. I did see that TikTok
That's a
was the
minus
answer
one, surely,
to the first
even
one.
for transparency.
Do we give him that? Well,
Yes.
Yeah, fine. Would you like to know what the
He
question was
gets
going to be?
minus one for the cheat and one for the answer, so he zeroes out.
Okay.
The question was going to be, what popular social media platform was temporarily unavailable in the States in January? Would you guys have known that?
I would have guessed
Yes.
something along those
Yeah,
lines.
probably.
My TikTok account got suspended.
Yeah. Right.
It's not
Okay,
created.
question 2. How long did the conclave last? That was
Four
also
days.
this
3
week.
days?
No. Wasn't it 2 weeks?
4 days.
No one's got it.
5 days. 2 days.
7.
Are we talking? Hang on. Are we talking about the film or the actual Catholic
This.
Oh,
7
a
days.
day.
2 days. Danny got it.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the film. Sorry, I was like, it was 2 weeks.
I was saying, I knew it was in the like 2 to 4 day range.
Okay. This is going to be super speedy, this one. Who won the Women's Euros?
England.
England.
Alicia got it, I'm afraid.
Your internet lag let you down.
That's a point to me.
No, it's not. It's a point to Alicia. Come on.
Look, the lag is killing me.
What show was referenced in the House of Commons in
Adolescence.
March?
Adolescence.
I think Peter got that.
I said it quicker. He didn't.
Miles
Still in
ahead.
essence.
Okay. Finish this viral phrase. Nothing beats her.
Oh, goodness me. You get that so wrong. I'm all right to tap out on that one.
Come on, guys. Nothing beats her.
Who said it?
It's in an advert. Went all over.
Haven't got a clue.
We're in the broadsheets, babe. We're in the broadsheets.
Okay.
Turns out we're not viral.
I think nothing beats a Jet2 holiday.
Oh,
Ah.
Does that ring any bells?
You should
Yeah.
have sung.
Yeah.
I think that's a point for Zanna.
Well, you wrote the question.
She
Next.
beat
Okay.
the incredible team here, yes.
Yeah. How long was Katy Perry's space flight?
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
11.
Yeah, you got it all right, Peter. There's no lag on that one.
What date did Danny Kruger announce he was defecting to reform?
I
25th
should know
of
this.
September.
Second.
It was September.
What did Peter say?
He said November. It was September. I'm going to go 15th.
October the 2nd.
15th of September.
Oh, Danny. Unbelievable.
Well, I knew it was between the Reform Conference and the Conservative Conference,
Yeah.
so I just had to.
I was
You're
trying
such
to
a
work out the
nerd.
National Week of Prayer because he turned up as a Conservative MP. I couldn't remember the date.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. How many people, this is probably closest wins, how many people liked Taylor Swift's engagement post?
13.4 million.
Too
18
many.
million.
18 million. That is low, Peter. 24.
It was 14 million. Danny got it closest.
Well, he is the Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah, but kind of gone off the boil a bit.
Why did tech company Astronomer hit the news?
Because they had a massive
Because their
blackout.
CEO, their
Blackout.
CEO was on the Coldplay
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
There's a big
Oh,
kiss screen,
Yeah.
kiss cam.
Kiss cam, yeah.
scam.
There was a tech company that blacked
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
but
yeah,
maybe
but
that
it's
was
not
last
him.
year, actually.
No.
That was Cloudflare,
Yeah.
whatever it was. No,
What happened to the Gulf of Mexico?
It was
it
renamed.
got renamed.
Danny got it, but I do think that was the lag. I don't know.
No!
Okay, sorry.
That's a straightforward draw
Yeah.
there on the lag. You guys are killing me on the lag.
It'll be fair when Peter's doing the questions. Right. How many minutes did the Louvre heist last? How long were they in
7. No. 4.
12.
Oh,
there?
24.
Close.
8 minutes.
Yep, 8 minutes.
It's a wee sympathy point for Alicia.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay. How many episodes of Cross Section have we produced this year?
32.
31 plus 2 bonus.
Yeah.
Peter. He knows that because it's probably on his quiz. That is so cringe.
Bonus question. Who out of the 4 of us was on the most episodes?
Me.
Peter.
Me.
It was Alicia.
Really?
Oh, she doesn't even back herself.
I knew it wasn't Peter.
Susanna gets that one.
Yeah, I get it again. Woo. I'll give you one more bonus question because I'm just having such a
I've
good
got
time.
a bonus question. Where's the cross-section mugs?
No.
Nothing to do with Alicia, band. Nothing to do with Alicia.
In your studio, I see 3 of them.
Oh,
Oh.
that was too easy. Ha ha ha. I hope you liked that laugh. The cross-section mugs, they may well come, but we had a
They're
bit of
not.
a price
They're
issue.
not, and they're nothing to do
There's
with
one more
Alicia
bonus
either.
question. I need to catch Peter
There
up.
is one more bonus question. How many times has the studio fallen apart during filming?
Oh,
3.
3.
Twice.
Twice. Peter's
Yes!
I mean, there was a double on Danny. I feel that's 3.
Right. Okay. Peter 1. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Right, so it's now my quiz.
Oh my goodness.
Is it? Oof.
Is it all linked to the vibe shift?
What was the most popular episode of Cross Section
Anglican
last year?
Church.
No, Christian nationalism.
Official title?
What's happened? What's going to happen to the Anglican Church?
It's not the impact of the Welby resignation.
But that wasn't this year.
Peter, you
It was
can't.
in January.
No.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, it's last year's. There you go.
Was it?
First question goes to Zanna.
Yeah, it was,
even though
it was
I might have got it wrong.
2024.
Adolescence, the show. What was the name of the actor who played the 13-year-old Jimmy
Oh,
Miller?
bless him.
Owen something.
He's a sweet boy.
Zanna's getting at least half a point for that.
It's a half point for Zanna. Owen Cooper. Which fictional cartoon character announced her pregnancy live on Good Morning Britain? Danny, this is for you. Come
In
on.
what way is this for Danny?
No, nobody knows.
Mummy
Fictional
Pig.
cartoon
Piggy.
character.
Mummy Pig.
Miss-
Mummy Pig.
Oh!
Mummy Pig.
Can I get a bonus point for knowing the name of the baby?
You might.
What's the name of the baby?
Evie.
Oh, Danny's he's rocking away.
See, I knew
here.
there'd been a baby pig. I didn't know that they announced
Listen,
it
he's
a
live on
drop out.
I
TV.
need the exact answer on this one. I need the detail on this. So, what is the name of the new leader of the Catholic Church after the conclave?
Oh,
Pope
Pope
Leo
Leo
the
the
13th.
14th.
13th.
12.
14th, Alicia.
Ah.
14th is correct. Who won the Eurovision Song Contest?
Not Israel.
Sweden.
Country?
I don't know. Estonia.
Switzerland.
Portugal.
Switzerland was closest, but not quite. Austria, so nobody gets their
I think
point
that's half
there.
a point then.
Who won the men's singles at Wimbledon this year?
I can see his
Sinner.
face. No, it's the other one.
Sinner. Danny's in.
Well done.
Very good. What two numbers went viral towards the end of the year?
6, 7.
6, 7.
6, 7. Zanna's in.
I hate that I've now recorded saying that.
I still don't know what it means. I've never actually bothered
No, I
looking
don't
it up.
understand
So
It's just, but even Keir Starmer's in on that one now. Right. The obvious one, Danny, you've got the heads up on this one. Taylor Swift released her 12th studio album called
The Life of a Showgirl.
Oh, Zanna beats him. Who was elected mayor of New York City in November?
Medini, but
some.
Yeah, I don't know his first name.
Ali.
No,
Mamdani. Danny gets half a point for sort of bitched effort at the name there. As of the 1st of December, what was the highest grossing movie of 2025?
K-pop Demon Hunters, was it? No.
No, but it's
I know that did well for Netflix.
One.
Ooh.
Zootropolis.
A comedy pairing, a cartoon pairing. I think they are. Lilo and Stitch.
What? Wow.
K-pop Demon Hunters, definitely the Netflix biggest film.
Who is Katy Perry officially now dating?
Justin Trudeau.
Oh, like unanimous there. And last one. What was the name of the AI singer who topped the US worship charts?
Solomon Ray.
Danny,
No,
I think
Danny
that
gets it.
one.
Danny said the full name.
No, does that mean Danny's won?
I think so.
Danny got 4.5. Zanna's got 2.5, and Alicia's got 1. That sounds about right on that one. There you go.
There you go. That is 2025 in a nutshell.
There you go. 25 is that's the end of our little quiz round. Hopefully you enjoyed playing that at home. Back to you, Zanna.
Yeah, I'm sure they all had no chance of even saying an answer because we were so speedy. But yes, you are listening to Cross Section. Thank you so much for engaging with us wow, Peter's had an outfit change. That was seamless. Yeah, thank you so much for engaging with us this last year. It's been really great having all these different conversations, and I hope they've been helpful. Yeah, please do get in touch with what you've enjoyed. We've loved hearing from people that had us in their Spotify Wrapped. So
yeah, shout out to my friend Aman. She showed me that she's in Cross Section was in her Spotify Wrapped #1 podcast.
And shout out to my friend Jess as well.
There we go.
Anyone else want to give a shout out to their friend? No.
No friends.
I have no friends.
Somebody did tell me, I can't remember who now. It was in Ben in the Belfast office, but it was number 5, so I've talked to him about that.
Oh.
Outrageous.
But yeah, what an encouragement. So thank you for that. And yeah, please do get in touch with us at cross.section@eauk.org and make sure you're following along on all of the EA social medias because, you might be sad to not have us for maybe a month or whenever we will be back. It's going to be tough. But anyway.
As we said, we've got a 33 episode strong 2025 back catalogue you can catch up on. If you've missed any episodes, do catch up.
True. Go see what we were saying in early January, see how things have changed. But that is going to take us into the final portion of this episode as we look ahead to 2026. Cannot kind of quite believe that is where we are. But we thought we'd quickly chat about our kind of predictions, what we think is going to happen next year, what we hope to see, and what we think will happen. Who wants to go first? Danny, you are the king of predictions in this team, whether or not they are right. But yeah, kick us off. Sorry.
Brutal.
Keir Starmer will still be Prime Minister at the end of 2026.
Mic drop.
Big shout.
I hadn't actually decided which way I was going until I said it. So my confidence level in this prediction is low.
I think no.
Let's go to Northern Ireland. He has endless predictions. I'm still working out mine.
I think AI we barely talked about looking back. So huge impact this year. I do wonder if it's peaking out a little bit. Definitely some people saying the large language models, ChatGPT stuff, has got to not quite as far as it'll go, but it's not going to keep accelerating at the same pace. And so I think there's some different conversations coming there, probably around the genetic aspect of what it does, and maybe a little less. It's nowhere close to artificial general intelligence. The people I'm listening to are saying, I think they're maybe right about that. I do think the Christian nationalism conversation's got to go a lot deeper. We've got to do a lot more engaging on that, think a lot more about that, what that looks like, and the impact of the Quiet Revival, young men coming to faith, the kind of rise of reform and the right, and lots of interplay here. I think there's some serious conversations. The church seems to be reacting quite heavily to that, a lot more than it did maybe to the rise of Christian progressivism. So I think there's just some centering to be done around that. There are some definite flags to be raised. That's probably an unfortunate pun to use there, as in red flags around the conversation. But as we get into like St. George's Day and looking forward, like what does good citizenship, etc., look like? So stuff on that. I don't think Keir Starmer is going to survive. I'll put that one out. Local elections are going to be fascinating in Wales and Scotland. How well will Reform do in those two countries? Looks like they might joint top the poll in Wales with Plaid. That's a really interesting combination. And Donald Trump will obviously win the Nobel Peace Prize, whether you like it or not. I think he's going to get it.
Wow.
Well, he's called it.
What did we say? I said no on that episode.
And Danny said yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. 2 against 1. I think the conversation of the budget is going to linger on into 2026, rightfully so. But specifically, I think we're going to have a very difficult conversation in this nation around welfare and the role of whose role is it to provide for the most vulnerable in society. And there's going to be different metrics or value systems to judge who is the most in need and who is most vulnerable. Send reform is meant to happen on the horizon. That's been pushed back. The child poverty strategy has come out. The conversation around pensioners, disability, all of these are going to collide in 2026. And it won't be the focal point of either reform or the local elections in terms of that narrative. But I think the economics of 2026 is going to be really difficult. And I think there's a role of the church to kind of speak into how do we care for the least of these. And it could quite possibly be that the church might need to step up more so in articulating and providing both at a local level that kind of works more in regions than a national strategy to tackle wealth inequality and welfare.
And just on the economics, I think that for me is one of the lasting consequences of the budget is that it didn't deal with any of the major underlying issues. That our welfare system is incredibly expensive. We aren't prepared to have some of the conversations about who gets money and who doesn't get money and why might they get money. Whether it's the triple lock on pensioners, you mentioned send reform, I think that's definitely coming. That's hugely expensive and is a really difficult one to be grasped. But I think some of those economic problems, I don't know if they will be dealt with properly next year. I think they will continue just to fester beneath the surface. And I think that's why the problem in our politics is that some of those big decisions are just not being taken. So that whoever comes into power has to face the same really hard choices. It was the underlying reason why Labour's honeymoon period was so short, because they were new to power, but the same problems were still there as the last government. And I worry that we're years away from a general election in all likelihood, but I think the same problems are still going to just fester away. And the inability or the unwillingness of politicians to deal with them is going to create further resentment towards politicians. And just picking up on something Peter said, I think as Christians, as churches, we are going to have to grapple with what discipleship looks like in this current political moment. What does it look like to help people live out their faith in public life, live out their faith, engaging with really difficult political issues where there's polarization? And I think we need to be able to talk about some of these things in church life. It's fine for us to do it in a podcast studio, but how are churches equipped to do this in congregations, in small groups, to recognize differences within their churches? And I think that's something that will start to come to the fore as some of the problems we're seeing come to the fore and churches try and grapple with increased polarization around really significant issues.
And as we're kind of in Advent and we might have different people coming into our churches, I mean, what a time for inviting people and having people come into carol services or other events. I guess what an encouragement to just be really welcoming to those that, maybe like us, but also those that are different to us. And just pointing them to Jesus. And I mean, it's what a time to just reflect on Jesus Christ and what he did for all of us, and how that completely changes how we navigate everything in this world. And as we may well have, polarization in our churches, like what a time to kind of witness and just be outward looking to all those coming through the front doors of our churches, whether they're easy to get on with or not. What a time to kind of do that, and just look at how Jesus was and how he interacts with people over the season. But we wish you a really happy Christmas. We hope you have whether you're with your churches or doing different things, we hope it's a really wonderful time as we celebrate the birth of our Saviour. But for now, thank you so much for listening to Cross Section, and see you next year.